And that's what we definitely are here at Online Big Blue. This is Tim, this is Online Big Blue Sports, bringing you the best New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, I want to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's for the Dahmer. Want to talk about maybe the Sexy Dexy. You can also go over the injury report. A lot of people are upset in Giant Nation that the Giants are 3.5-point dogs going into Jacksonville. And I've said it before. If you think that number is incorrect, go make a bet. Go clean up. Nothing to it. Put your money where your mouth is. That's all. That's all. But you know what? I don't see the Jaguars at 2-4 as a much better team than the Giants. I don't see them being a 3.5-point dog favorite myself. I see this game as an even game. I see this game as a push. I see two teams that, if you take a look at their 5-1 record for the Giants and 2-4 record for the Jags, could easily be reversed at times. So, I mean, it's just the way the football bounces. It's the way the ball bounces. That's why it's an odd shape, because you never know which way it's gonna bounce. Do I think the Giants are a better team than the Jaguars? Yes, I do think defensively they are. Is this going to be a cakewalk for the Giants? I hope so, because it would be nice to see a cakewalk of a game. Are the Jaguars going to put up a fight? You watch after that Texans game, you kind of worry. Then you look at the game they played on the road against the Chargers, and you're like, you don't know what Jaguar team is going to show up. If you take a look at the talent on the Jacksonville Jaguar teams, and I've said this before in the past, I'm a quasi Jaguars fan. When I lived in Florida, the Super Bowl came to Jacksonville, and I bought season tickets because I wanted an opportunity to get Super Bowl tickets. Because season ticket holders would have an opportunity to purchase Super Bowl tickets after the season. Of course, the Jaguars, I didn't win. You went into a lottery to win Super Bowl tickets, and of course I didn't win. I didn't win the lottery to get Super Bowl tickets, so I was stuck with Jaguar season tickets for 2-3 years. So I saw the likes of Mark Brunell and David Gerard and Brian Leftwich and Fred Taylor and Tony Baselli and all those guys. So it was always fun to go to the game. So so there's a little fondness in my heart for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have a Josh Allen number 41 jersey because I don't just buy Giants jerseys. I'm not 12 years old. So I kind of I got a soft spot in my heart for them. With Doug Peterson, are they a team going in the right direction? After the multitudes of issues the Jaguars have had the last couple of years, you hope they are. You hope for the fan base they are. And if you take a look at Trevor Lawrence, a 23-year-old, and he's number one draft choice, he finished second in passing to Mac Jones at 3,641 yards. The offense they ran in Jacksonville last year, we're not even going to get into that, was not conducive to a rookie quarterback. And you think, you have Peterson in some ways they talk about Frank Reich being the quarterback whisperer in reference to, Nick Foles and what he did. But you also have to think of the fact that, Peterson has worked with quarterbacks before, has helped mature quarterbacks before, what he got out of Carson Wentz. So it's interesting. So the first 6 games of the season, Lawrence completed 133 passes for 1,397 yards, 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He's around the same spot he was last year, but he's got a higher completion percentage, which is tied for 8th among quarterbacks. And like I said, he's getting the ball in the end zone. He's getting the ball in the end zone. He's learning how to extend plays. He's showing that talent that he showed in college. He's a big kid, athletic at 6'6", 213. He's got dual threat capabilities. He's just a guy that, if you look at him, he's got elite passing traits written all over him. Now, the problem is he's got to learn to protect the ball. He's got to learn at times that he can't force the ball into spots that he thinks he can. And he's got to also learn that he's got to kind of, play more. And I always hate the expression, but he's got to play more within himself, and he's got to read bet coverages a little bit better. And he doesn't always take the check down. He doesn't take the dump off. And like I said, he's willing to take the hit to push the ball down the field. But right now he's only got 6 games, as Peterson as his coordinator. So he's susceptible to some exotic blitz packages that the Winker can definitely throw at him. So he's going to be susceptible to that. One of the things you have to worry about with Jacksonville right off the bat is the Jacksonville's running game. Travis at ATM. I think it's ATM. I always want to call him ATM. ATM Jr. He was out all last year. You had James Robinson, the undrafted free agent who led the team in rushing the last 2 years. So, I mean, he was leading the team, I think, for like almost 800 yards before, believe he tore his ACL. I don't remember. And that was in 2020. Yeah, that was in 2021. But, you have a dual threat here. You have two guys here that could potentially be 2,000-yard rushers because you got Robinson, who's kind of the banger, and you got Etienne, who's the change of pace back. He's that speed back. He's that guy that Jacksonville had been looking for. He's that guy that is gonna find his spots, and he could take off in a moment's notice. He worries me because he's a Kenyon Drake. He's a Kenyon Drake with speed. And I think that at the core is going to be our issue because, like I said, if we do not maintain our assignments and we do not hold the edge, we could have some severe problems in Jacksonville stopping the run game. And I believe they're averaging over 5 yards a carry right now. Robinson's a downhill runner, east-west guy. He's got 81 carries for 342 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. 4.2 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he is a guy that he's a guy that can carry the rock. He's a guy that can carry the mail. And like I said, Travis is another guy who, a 4-year career at Clemson. He had 4,952 yards, total yards his entire career. He's got that speed, he's got that acceleration. He can outrun, he could be gone in a moment's notice. And so that should scare the bejesus out of Wink right now. I'm not saying he should stay up at night, but that should scare the bejesus out of Wink. That he is a guy that is a home run threat every time he touches that ball. And that's something we're going to need to lock down. I think the Jaguars are going to take a page out of the Giants book and try to run the ball. And just try to run the ball effectively and efficiently because they saw what happened with Kenyon Drake in Baltimore last week. So I think that's what they're going to have to That's what they're going to have to do. Then it's also interesting that Jacksonville has some wide receivers. Christian Kirk, when he came over from the Cardinals, I thought they paid him way too much money. They had DJ Shark, and I thought they probably should have kept him. But right now the Jaguars, I mean, it's this interesting combination of wide receivers between Jones and Kirk. And like I said, Kirk, I didn't think he was going to, after signing $72 million, I thought that was crazy. I thought that was nutty. But through 6 games, he leads all Jaguars passers with 25 receptions for 362 yards. And you also have Jones, and it's one of those things that he's another guy that has the capability to take things deep. And then Jones is the same way. Jones has already got 27 for 227 and a touchdown. He's going to be that underneath guy. He's going to be that little sneaky guy. I mean, so they have, like I said, and then they have, what's his name? They have Agnew. They have Marvin Jones Jr., who they brought back last year. Jones was the guy for Lawrence last year with 73 catches for 832 yards. So you know what and I think Jones right now is on their injury report. I believe Agnew is as well. But it's weird because you're gonna have to worry about some of these guys too. Then you get into the tight end room. The tight end, like I said, you got old Evan there. 5 seasons for the Giants, 262 yards, 2,820 receptions, 13 touchdowns. He signed a 1-year, $9 million Jacksonville deal. He hasn't been what I would call stellar this season. I'm not saying he's the bust that we thought he was, but he just hasn't been. He just hasn't been the guy. He hasn't been the vertical threat. But at 6'3", 240 pounds, you need to worry about him. You need to worry about him a lot. Because Peterson did have Zach Ertz over in Philadelphia, so he knows how to work the tight end. So, but if you saw what the tight ends did to the Giants last week, you're going to have to be concerned right now about Evan Ingram as well. The offensive line, you got Cam Robinson at the left tackle. I mean, they're doing a fair job right now protecting their their second-year quarterback. Can the Giants exploit this line? You would hope that you would hope they would. You would hope they would. And they had, they grabbed the guard from Washington. So you would hope that they would be able to exploit the line. You'd hope to be able to attack the line. I love it because their guards are ranked third best in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. But it's one of those situations that I think that if you have your full complement of a pass rush, if you have everything working from Azeez Ojulari, if you have everything working from Kayvon Thibodeau, if you can keep the pressure up for Dexter Lawrence, I think you can. I'm not saying you can exploit the line, but I think you're going to get pressure. You can get pressure on Lawrence, and you hope that if you get pressure on Lawrence, that Lawrence is going to fall into some regards to making the big mistake. And I think you kind of hope they're going. Like I said, their offensive line is not a pushover. But I think with the Giants' rush, there is a potential to exploit the line. There will be that potential. Oh, evidently the music's come flying and rushing in because I didn't turn it down here on the new. We're gonna have to turn that down on the new sound effect bar. I evidently didn't notice that. I wasn't thinking that. In regards to the defense, the defense in Jacksonville they got some players. Are they going to be fearful? You got Devin Lloyd. I like Devin Lloyd. I like their other linebacker they have. They got the kid Josh Allen, who, like I said, I have his jersey. He was in that certain draft. You got what's his name, Cisco, that thong. Over in the over in the secondary as well. Of course, you have Tavon Austin, the big rookie who's played well. He got a bad penalty the other day, but they have some formidable players on that line as well. So if you take a look at it in regards to the points, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 15th in the league. Giants are 18th. For points per game, it's interesting that the Giants are 7th at 18.8. Jags are 9th at 19. Total yards per game, you have Jaguars 11th in the league, Giants 25th. And allowing opponents yardage, Jags are only 11th when the Giants are 15th. And but to me, the big stat is the turnover differential, where the Giants are a +2 and the Jaguars are 0 right now. So their defense is not a pushover. It's a young team, the Jags that are trying to learn to win. And that's what they're going to have to do. And you hope that they are not going to learn to win against the Giants. But like I said, they have, and everyone will point to these, the Chargers game and the Duck, was not at full capacity. But I don't know, man. I don't think these 4 games coming up are as much as a pushover as some fans think. Because like I said, the football bounces a weird way. And that's what you have to remember, and that's what you have to look at, how this football bounces, because you don't know. Because right now, the football is bouncing the Giants' way. So you hope to continue that the Giants are going to be pushing it that way, and going that way. But like I said, I think the Giants have the opportunity to take this game in Jacksonville. But the problem is, I would not be shocked if they lost. I would not be shocked if the Giants got not blown out, but maybe lost like 27-17. Because of the fact that you are playing in Jacksonville. It is an interesting, with the sun at a 1:00 game, it is an interesting stadium to play in if you've ever been to Jaguar Stadium. But you hope also that you hope you got a nice weather game. That should help the Giants passing game as well. But the Giants are mainly predicated on the run. I keep saying this before everyone wants to go out and get a wide receiver. You don't need a wide receiver. We don't need a wide receiver. What we need is a linebacker. We need basically 2 linebackers. But like I said, it's a winnable game for the Giants. It's a game that would go a long way to proving that the Giants are for real. But on the same breath, if they lose the Giants, it's 1 loss. Well, it'd be technically 2 losses, but it's 1 loss if they lose. And I wouldn't jump off the ship. My issue is this. This is my biggest issue with fans nowadays. The Giants are 5-1. They go 5-2. Some will start jumping off the bandwagon. Some will be breaking their ankles, falling off the bandwagon. But it'll be 1 loss. And then you'll have some fans that'll be like, well, it's only 1 loss. And they're right. It's only 1 loss, so it'll be a 5-2 record. But you know what? It's like the people that left the nasty comments in the chat yesterday. It says, you shouldn't go to Giant games. Oh, I've been going to Giant games since '76. I've been going to Giant games since most of these people before were born. And I love the one guy that his best comment was calling me grandpa. Wow, I'm old. That is a stinging comment. I do not think that I can make it through the rest of the day with that comment because it hurts so much because I am old. Some people are just stupid. But you know what? And like I said, you got to enjoy and I've said this a million times, you got to enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, have fun. I'm not a fan channel. I'm an honest perspective of a team. I don't sit there and tell you I'm a fan channel. I get upset when they lose. I get happy when they win. I get more upset when I hear stupidity. But like I said, I'm not a fan channel, and I've never said that I was, nor will I ever say that I am. I am a channel that is dedicated to the Giants, that looks at the team from an outside perspective and not wearing my fan hat. That's what this channel is. Some don't get it. Some don't like it. Don't really care. Big Dexy, we're gonna do the video tomorrow on Sexy Dexy because Dexter Lawrence has been playing quite well. I got to give a big shout out to the Giants. They're having their season ticket holder Halloween party for the kids at Giant Stadium tomorrow, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going. I've said this before. I'm going there as a dad. I'm not going there as a Giant YouTuber, so I will post some pictures on Twitter, so you can follow us on Online Big Blue 1. You get to see some of the photos. They're going to let the kids trick-or-treat on the field, do events. They're going to be in the locker room. They're going to be in the Legacy Club. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to take the kids out and just have a fun, Friday night trick-or-treating with the Giants. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you can subscribe. If you can ring that bell, you're going to mean that'd be awesome.